Welcome to the Plato Paradigm, a paradigm shift in reading Plato's dialogues. Episode 25, Hippias Minor 374e to 375b. Last time we saw that Socrates eristically gave Hippias two options for bad outcomes, either with good parts of the body or bad parts of the body. We know that the bad outcome is bad either way, but Hippias chose every time the good parts of the body because he is concentrating only on ability. The parts of the body which are good can have good outcomes, but in this case can also have bad outcomes. It's a choice. But he doesn't see that it really doesn't matter which you choose, given that the outcome is always bad in the eristic options. We also saw that Socrates began with parts of the body which depended on the agent, the person whose parts they are, choosing to use them badly. But then he moved to parts of the body which themselves chose. Instead of the agent choosing, the parts of the body chose, especially in connection with senses. The senses themselves chose to sense badly rather than the agent choosing to use the senses badly. We could still agree with Hippias' choice because it's preferable to have good senses, functional senses, than bad senses, senses which don't function at all ever in a good way. Because just in case the good senses function as they should, then we would be in a better position. The problem is that in this eristic debate, that won't happen. The outcome is bad either way. And this is what Hippias isn't following or doesn't care, because he's still appearing to be good at eristics. Now Socrates moves from parts of the body to tools. Tide organon poteron beltion he koinonia, hois hekontis kakaer gadzetai e hois akon, hoion peidalion, ho akon kakostis kubernese beltion e ho hekon. Ho hekon. What then? The partnership with which tools is better? With those with which one does bad things willingly, or with those with which one does things badly unwillingly? For example, is a rudder better with which one steers badly unwillingly, or with which one steers badly willingly? The one with which one steers willingly. If you have a bad rudder, you steer badly unwillingly. In other words, you don't have a choice. But if you have a good rudder, then you can steer badly willingly. You choose to steer badly. Therefore, it's better to choose the good rudder, because then you have the choice to steer badly if you want to. The ability is still with the pilot, if indeed he is a good pilot. That's another point. A bad pilot with a bad rudder steers badly unwillingly. A good pilot with a good rudder steers badly willingly. They could both wreck the ship, but one does it with ability and one does it without ability. U kai toxon hosautos kai lyre kai auloi kai tala sumpanta aletheles. Isn't the bow like this, and the lyre and flutes and all the other things? True. So Socrates has generalized regarding tools. If the tools are bad, the user of the tools performs things badly unwillingly, but with good tools he can perform badly willingly. What then? Is it better to possess the soul of a horse by which one willingly will ride badly, rather than the soul of a horse by which one will ride badly unwillingly? In Greek, the last part is just than, by which, unwillingly. I had to spell this out because, firstly, in English you do have to spell these things out, but also the example is a bit more complicated than the last few. This time we have a bad horse and a good horse. It's just like a bad rudder and a good rudder. And the good rider will choose the good horse in order to ride badly willingly. Any rider on a bad horse would ride badly unwillingly. They don't have a choice. That is, as with all the other tools, the choice having been made to use a bad tool, then there is no option than to perform badly. But the choice having been made to use a good tool, then one chooses again to perform badly. But what makes the horse good or bad here, unlike the rudder or the other tools, this time it's the soul of the horse which makes the horse better or worse. If the soul of the horse is worthless, then the rider has no choice but to perform badly. But if the soul is better, then the rider can choose to perform badly willingly. The soul of a horse is worthless if it means the horse refuses to be ridden, but the soul of a horse is better if it allows itself to be ridden. So the willingness here is both in the rider and in the horse, the active and passive elements of riding. Amenon ara estin, nai. So it's better. Yes. It's not quite clear yet what is better. Is this the soul of the horse, the rider? It has to be something masculine or feminine. That's all we know. But it doesn't matter. Hippias says yes anyway. Te amenoni ara psyche hippu tates psyches ergatautes taponera hekusios an poioi tedetes poneras akusios panuge. So by the better soul of a horse, so now we know what was better, the soul of a horse, he, the rider, would produce the worthless deeds of that soul willingly, but of the worthless soul unwillingly. If I fill in the missing words, the understood words in Greek, in the English translation, we would realize that we're talking about the rider producing the worthless deeds of the worthless soul of a horse unwillingly, but of the better soul of a horse willingly. This is a bit confusing. Now, the deeds themselves are worthless, but these are not the deeds of the rider, although he is the one who's being willing or unwilling. The rider willingly produces worthless deeds of the soul of a horse. And it depends on the soul of a horse whether he's doing the deeds willingly or unwillingly. Ukun kai kunos kai ton alon zoron panton nai. So also of a dog and of all the other animals? Yes. What are we to understand from this sentence? We can't supply the missing words rider, for example. It's not that the rider uses the soul of a dog, for example. But we are still talking about tools, and each animal has a particular use, so we simply have to widen the scope of the rider to any human using any animal for any particular use. And the human would willingly do worthless things using the better soul of the animal, and not the worthless soul. Tidede, anthropu psyche nectestai toxotu amenonestin, hetis hekusios hamartane tu skopu, hetis akusios, hetis hekusios. What then? Is it better to acquire the soul of an archer which willingly misses the mark, or which unwillingly misses the mark? Which willingly misses the mark? Socrates is still talking about acquiring or having acquired the soul of the archer, so he's still thinking about someone using the soul of the archer for his own purposes. For example, the commander of an army or a king, he would choose to acquire the soul of an archer, presumably along with the archer himself. And of course, a commander or a king would choose the soul of an archer which could hit a target, but that is the very same soul which could miss willingly, as opposed to a bad archer who would miss unwillingly. He doesn't have a choice. The verb for missing the mark is hamartano. This developed from missing the mark to missing the point of doing something, making a mistake, and then doing something wrong in general. And then in Christianity, it came to be to sin. In this dialogue, we have already seen hamartano being used as to make a mistake. Here, it's being used in its original sense of missing the mark. Ukun kai haute amenon est toxikeen estin? Nay. And is it better with regard to archery? Yes. This is another way of saying that the criterion for deciding whether the soul of an archer is worthless or better is archery. We look to the aim of the soul. Is the soul good for archery, or is it bad for archery? Here, for the first time, we have Socrates explicitly adding the goal to the means. The soul is a means, but its value is judged by its ability to perform some particular goal, in this case, archery. And it's only the good soul of an archer which can miss a target willingly. Kai psuche ara akusios hamartanus ponerotera hekusios en toxikege. And so the soul unwillingly missing the mark is more worthless than the soul willingly missing the mark. In archery, yes. Why does Hippias have to say in archery? Why does he have to qualify the answer? Until now, in every case, he said yes, 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 because the soul has ability. The one which willingly does things badly has ability, and that is what he prefers. We'll see next time what Hippias' problem is.